Well, one thing that has been established over and over again, and that is that triple talaq needs to be viewed from the prism, and just the prism of gender justice, not religion, not politics. Yet, the bill that was passed today by the Lok Sabha, was it a bill that was passed in a hurry? Does it have its own flaws? What could that possibly mean? Well, that is something that we would discuss today, right here on News Tonight. I want to introduce our panel to us. We have Zakia Soman, petitioner, triple talaq case. We have Amit Malve, spokesperson, BJP. We have M.H. Kazmi in the studio with me. He's the chairman of the Imam Council of India. We have Tahira Hassan, general secretary, IPWA. We have Ghanshyam Tiwari, leader of the Samajwadi Party. And with the permission of my panel, I want to go across to one woman of a handful of them, who before the politics, before the politicians, before even the current Prime Minister, before the flashbulbs, the media, the cameras, has silently been fighting the good fight, silently on, for years now. And Zakia, I'd want to come to you first, because this is your moment, you know, and many, many congratulations to that. We had that conversation way back when the Supreme Court said what it did, and today it is indeed your moment. What do you reckon, Zakia? Redemption, or the bill is not comprehensive enough, there are flaws? Where do you stand on the triple talaq bill that was cleared in Parliament today?
Yeah, Priti, it's a very big day for us, and it is a testimony, the kind of hardships that ordinary Muslim women have faced, and the way they have struggled in the face of all odds. It was it was not an easy fight, because we were up against very well entrenched patriarchal bodies who had decades and decades of experience of a stranglehold on the community, and who had successfully built this kind of a common sense in the community that if you are a Muslim woman, triple talaq is your fate. So to challenge that, to counter that, to bust that, and to be able to convince ordinary women that it is not our religion which is responsible, but it is the patriarchy which is masquerading as our religion which is responsible for our bad condition, and we getting thrown out of our homes overnight. So it was a huge struggle, and the Muslim women, ordinary Muslim women, I was listening to what I was just, the women whom Shweta was now talking to. So these are the kind of women who are the heroes, who have, struggled against so many hardships and have demanded in a very consistent manner gender justice and gender equality. We have demanded it from the courts, we have demanded it from the parliament, we have demanded it from the government. And today is a historic day, because not only we want to thank the government, but we also want to thank the opposition, the Congress party, which has also supported the bill. And we want to thank all the parliamentarians who have supported the passage of this bill. So this is coming 70 years too late, but it cannot be, more welcome than what it is today. So it's really a big day.
All right.
However, we really wish that at least there are two changes.
Yes, finish Zakia.
If I can say that now.
No, finish Zakia. What are the two changes that you want?
Yeah. So we would like, ideally we would like the bill to lay down a procedure of divorce. A procedure which is lasting over a period of minimum 90 days, involving reconciliation, arbitration, mediation, and at the end of it, it's for the husband and wife to mutually take a call and decide on the divorce. That is one. Second is, we would like the wife to have the right to register the FIR should the husband resort to triple talaq. So it should be the wife's decision, and after that, if she wants to prosecute her husband legally, then the magistrate should look at the whole matter and send the lawbreaker to jail. There should be penalty, there should be jail term, everything. But we wish that right should be given to the wife.
All right, the right should be given to the wife. Stay with me, Zakia. Let's, and gentlemen, with your permission today, I want to get the first words in by the women on this panel because they are the biggest stakeholders with what has just happened today. Tahira, I'd want to come to you first. Tahira is the General Secretary of the All India Progressive Women's Association. Tahira, would you reckon today is a watershed moment when it comes down to social reforms for women in your community?
Yes, I think it's a victory of Muslim women, a struggle of Muslim women, and it is a victory against the patriarchal mindset of the Muslim men. And it was, as one of my sister had spoken right now, that it is a sword hanging over the head of the Muslim women. And it is not mentioned once in the Quran, this barbaric, inhuman, un-Islamic practice. So it has to be, 22 Muslim countries have removed it. I don't know why the Personal Law Board was so adamant against it. And I think, and I feel that after the 22nd of August Supreme Court verdict, it was our only moral victory. This again and again I say, because after that only 77 cases of triple talaq in one go came in light. So the formulation of law was very, very essential. So I welcome it, but I think that sending the husband in jail is not only solution. The emphasis should be on financial security of the Muslim women. More emphasis should be on that. Social and financial security of the woman, how we are going to make her more secure. This should be, I mean, this should be in this bill. That I think emphasis is more on sending jail rather than making her ensuring financial security to Muslim women. Only this thing I want into it, and the input has to be taken from the women organization and the Muslim women organizations also, not from the Muslim Personal Law Board at all, because they have no moral right to give.
And neither are they the stakeholders. It's been a cozy,
Supreme Court,
and neither are they the stakeholders. The stakeholders in this is only one, and that is the Muslim woman there. And that's the Muslim woman there. All right, ladies, with what you both stated, I want to just cut across. Yes, I want to cut across to Amit Malviya, spokesperson of the BJP. Mr. Malviya, congratulations. You've been able to clear what is possibly a historic bill in the Lok Sabha today. Of course, you have another fight where the Rajya Sabha is concerned. But my question to you, Ms. Malviya, is that at the back of this bill, many questions are being raised, some being raised right here by these ladies on the panel. Was there a sense of hurry to pass this particular bill? Could you have waited? Could you have larger representation for those who are the stakeholders? You just heard two of them talk right now. Many flaws where this bill is concerned. I want to just, take you through a few. Can gender justice be solved or given where, through criminalization, which is in this particular case, reconciliation, because that's completely out of the window if there is criminalization. On the other hand, remuneration, there is no talk of that. Burden of proof, Mr. Malviya, on the woman in question. Would you reckon this bill is flawed?
Okay, first of all, I think, Preeti, we have to look at this bill in context. When we are asked if we were in hurry, this is something that's been going on for the last 70 years. After we got independence, the first Prime Minister said that there is no hurry to get this uniform civil code as far as minorities are concerned because they needed time. The issue was again raised in 1960s, and then in 1986 we had the infamous Shah Bano case. And now, when this matter was again in the court, the government, the Prime Minister Modi-led government, took a definitive stand. And the Supreme Court deliberated this matter, heard all views, and then came up with a ruling which very clearly said that triple talaq is illegal, it is constitutionally void, and left it to the government to legislate. Now, when the Supreme Court was hearing this matter, it had three matters in front of it. One was of the triple talaq, then of nikah halala and polygamy. The Supreme Court chose to listen to only triple talaq, and its judgment was restricted to triple talaq. This legislation that we've seen today is really in the context of triple talaq. Now, let me just talk about the point about criminalization. Criminalization is not something which is new to a civil law. It's been there in several other laws.
True,
it is
Amit,
there in
but
the IPC,
criminalization, I agree. It's even there. Amit, let me come in.
Something that's been around for a long time.
Yes, I agree with you. Criminalization is even there where the Dowry Act of 1961 is concerned, even to the Sati Act of 1984. But I want to come down to the fact of making it cognizable and non-cognizable. You've made this a cognizable offence.
Yes. You see, there has to be a deterrent for something like this, and we've seen the plight of the women.
But that deterrent is not there in any other. But Amit, that deterrent is not there in any other law pertaining to marriage or pertaining to any other customs of a religion, of any other religion. The Dowry Act is non-cognizable. Dowry Act is non-cognizable. Sati is non-cognizable. Why make this cognizable? Because then you're opening that window of doubt.
If you look at the Child Marriage Act, for instance, if you look at the Child Marriage Act in the sense, there is this offence. It is cognizable, it is non-bailable.
It is cognizable if there is harm to the child,
yes. It's not the only one. So let's not deviate from the issue.
No, nobody is deviating from the issue. Nobody is saying anything at all. It is a landmark moment. It is a watershed moment. Amit, it is. Nobody once is saying that this bill is wrong. But could the bill be flawed? Were you in a hurry? That is what is debatable.
That is what I said. We have not been able to legislate on something for 70 years, and there is never a right time to do it. And by the way, let me also point out, this matter was not something that the government proposed and the government forced as far as legislation is concerned. These were voices that emanated from the Muslim community. It was the women of the Muslim community that were fighting this battle for a long time. The Supreme Court asked for the government's view. The government in this case did not deter. It gave a very definitive stance. It opposed triple talaq, and that is what led to the annulling of this practice by the Supreme Court. And this legislation only reflects and implements it in letter and spirit.
No.
All right, okay. We don't have Ghanshyam Tiwari, I believe, of the Samajwadi Party. He's going to be joining us in a short while.
All right. I think.
Okay. We don't have Ghanshyam Tiwari, but M.H. Kazmi, Chairman of the Imam Council of India, wants to come in. Ji, Kazmi ji, aapka boliye.
ये कानून जो है proposed law, if is enacted, it will be draconian law against women, because you are sending for no reason, for no sin, a husband to jail for 3 years. And let me remind you, even after fixing 3 years terms, you will not be able to send husband to jail, because the 3 year terms is bailable. Immediate arrest is not made. Even after
immediate arrest is made, is cognizable.
Even after pronouncement of the court, husband will go without arrest to higher court, and higher court,
Mr. Kazmi,
and entire hard-earned money of the house will be spent.
Mr. Kazmi, do you understand what is a cognizable offence?
Legal procedure.
Arrest without warrant. You understand what's a cognizable offence?
Yes,
arrest without warrant. So he will be arrested. But one second.
He will be out of 2 or 3 days.
And you say it's draconian.
It's,
one second.
Sir,
calm down. आराम से बात कीजिए ना.
More and more injustice to the victim.
धीरे बोलिए. चलिए. आप you're saying कि ये draconian है, ये anti-Muslim women है. अब जो stakeholders हैं, हम मुस्लिम women से बात करते हैं, हम ताहिरा हसन को लेके आते हैं. एक सेकंड.
Stakeholders also have not been consulted.
Miss Hassan, do you think it is draconian, or do you think it's going to be anti the Muslim woman here? Would you like to clarify the gentleman, for the gentleman who's sitting in the studio?
No, I don't think so. It is anti-women. You know, when the women were, when the husbands were abandoning women and dumping them like a commodity, where were they? Why did they not raise the voice against it? Why they did not remove triple talaq in one go?
You were criticizing the provision of 3 years
in the times of Umar.
And
she is saying what could be included.
You acknowledge that the women also have not been consulted in this proposed law. In every democratic country, law making procedure.
देखिए काज़मी जी, आपने अपना रुख रखा, अब उनको बोलने दीजिए.
Constitution. Well, let me finish, na. बोलने दीजिए ना. In the times of the Umar Umar alayhi salam, for the triple talaq in one go, physical punishment was being given. But we are in the largest democracy which is run by the constitution. So of course we need a law to curb it. What are you talking about, Maulana Sahab?
अब मैं कुछ कहूँ, खलीफा उमर के जमाने में जो सजा दी जाती थी, हम चाहते हैं वो सजा दें, लेकिन उस वक्त में 3 तलाक देने के बाद दोनों मियां बीवी की शादी टर्मिनेट हो जाती थी. लेकिन यहाँ पर यू आर नॉट टर्मिनेटिंग द मैरिज इवन आफ्टर प्रोनाउंसमेंट ऑफ द इंस्टेंट ट्रिपल तलाक.
जो होगा
ये फर्क है मैडम.
गोल गोल जलेबी की तरह मत घुमाइए.
अरे आप फिर घुमाने की बात करें. उमर रज़ी अल्लाह अन्हु के जमाने में ये था कि उसको जेल, उसकी पिटाई होती थी, होनी चाहिए, लेकिन वो ऑफेंस करता था शादी को तोड़ने का.
गो वन बाय वन. देखिए काज़मी साहब, आराम से उनको बोलने दीजिए.
भाई आप मेरी बात नहीं सुन रहे ना. मैं जो कहना चाह रहा हूं,
आप बताएं क्या.
मैं कह रहा हूं ये इन्होंने
हसन जी को बात करने दीजिए, फिर आप बात करें. एक-एक करके बात करेंगे, सब सुनेंगे.
You should also give me a sufficient time.
अरे काज़मी जी, I'm giving you time. जी, मिस हसन, क्विकली कंप्लीट. तो कह रही हैं कि लॉ बनना चाहिए, इसमें आपको क्या दिक्कत है?
But wives to send to husband to.
तो आप मानते हैं ये बिल सही है, इसमें प्रोविजंस जो हैं वो गलत हैं, वो रेक्टिफाई करने चाहिए.
इस बिल को बनाना चाहिए था मुसलमानों से और खवातीन से और खास तौर पर फेमिनिस्ट से मशवरा लेना चाहिए था. Why this government is so hasty?
आप मुझे ये बताइए, इमाम साहब, आप मुझे ये बताइए, एक चीज बताइए कि आप इससे सहमत हैं, बिल तो सही चीज है, लॉ बनना चाहिए या ये भी नहीं होना चाहिए?
लॉ बनना चाहिए, लेकिन इस फॉर्म के जो लॉ है मैं उसका सख्त,
तो इन इट्स करंट फॉर्म में नहीं पास होना चाहिए, आप ये कह रहे हैं?
किसी भी हाल में. इसलिए इससे कोई पर्पस सर्व नहीं होगा.
चलिए, आपने बोल दिया. Zakia Soman, you know, something that was raised even today on the floor of the parliament, where you had the likes of Prasad Owaisi who got up and called this anti-women when it comes down to the Muslim woman. Do you reckon the bill in its current form is anti-woman?
Certainly not. Certainly not. But ideally, yes, it would be very good if every party is consulted. But the antagonism which has been practiced by the likes of the Personal Law Board and some of the political parties who were today opposing the bill, even Mr. Kasmi sitting in your studio, these people have always opposed any talk about any reform in the Muslim personal law. They have stonewalled any idea about giving equality and justice to women. So going by that track record, perhaps somebody in the government may have felt that what's the point of consulting them, because in any case they have a very patriarchal male dominated worldview. But yes, ideally in the process of law making, the biggest stakeholders, which are the Muslim women themselves,
right.
We welcome when the law commission solicited views of the citizens. So if something similar can be done, it will always be welcome.
All right.
And that will make this law even better. It will make it watertight.
Right.
It will make it conform to all the legal and
but with all its flaws, Zakia, today is a yes, Zakia, with all its flaws, today is a watershed moment, and it's a day that belongs to the Muslim woman who has fought on for decades now for gender justice. All right, we finally have Ghanshyam Tiwari, leader of the Samajwadi Party, with us. Ghanshyam, sorry you're joining us a little late. You know, Ghanshyam, with all that is possibly wrong or flawed with this particular bill, do you admit, do you reckon that this is a watershed moment when it comes down to social reforms for the Muslim woman?
Preeti, I heard your entire debate, and I heard the entire debate in Parliament. Three things stood out. One, the big question was never answered, that why criminalize in the Parliament. This question was never answered by the government. Two, it was never answered that what was the reason for bringing this bill after the Supreme Court judgment which had already put it null and void. And three, it was never answered that why such a hurry. There were suggestions to refer it to Parliament committee that were not honored. There were questions about which other country in the world criminalizes. There is no single country in the world which criminalizes the practice.
Yes.
It was not responded to. And finally, on the consultation on December 20th, the Parliament was informed by the current government that no consultation was done on this bill. How can you impose such a bill without consultation? It, I think, is a surgical strike by a majoritarian divisive politics, and it's a surgical strike on reason, on practicality. You are leaving the marriage valid, but you are putting the man in jail, putting the entire family vulnerable. The fine is not clear. The
All right,
magisterial process is not clear. The road to rapprochement is over.
Ghanshyam Tiwari practically said that the BJP wants to be the messiah of social reforms, but there's a lot that needs to be read in that. Amit Malviya.
All right. So let me just do a fact check first. Pakistan, Bangladesh, Turkey, Tunisia and Sri Lanka are countries. Madam, can I just speak? Then you can take on Mr. Ghanshyam. Thank you. You know, country like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Turkey, Tunisia and Sri Lanka have provision for criminal offence and jail up to 3 years. So clearly Mr. Tiwari hasn't read enough.
Not
as
true.
far
it
as
was on the floor of the House.
Suggestion to send it to standing committee was concerned,
on the floor of the House.
The government
Amit,
was...
I respect you, but this myth was busted.
Ghanshyam, let Amit finish, but we'll come to you. Mr. Tiwari, let Mr. Malviya finish, make his point, and I'll quickly come to you for a rebuttal. Yes, Mr. Malviya, finish, sir. Finish your point.
All right, that's a better way to debate. That's a better way to debate. And when the suggestion was made about sending the bill to a standing committee, the government said very clearly, you have offered no inputs for consideration so as to be sent to the standing committee. Therefore, the suggestion to send it to standing committee was purely a delaying tactic and nothing else. As far as taking other stakeholders and people who wanted to give an input was considered, as the lady before me said, there was a law commission that sought inputs from everybody, from common citizens, from legislators, from state governments.
No, but you know, that's a point that has been made even
entity which had
even by Ms. Hassan, the All India Progressive Women's Association, BEBAC, a lot of other associations that could have been taken in because they are the biggest stakeholders representing the Muslim woman. They were not. All right. Mr. Tiwari, Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari, come in, because let him have a word.
I want to make one last point. Can I make one last point?
I want to just tell to Amit that this myth that it is criminalized in other places was busted on the floor of the House.
All right, Amit Malviya, we're reaching the end of this debate. Let Ghanshyam Tiwari have his say. Yes, Mr. Tiwari, make your point.
Country criminalizes it. Second, the first state that recommended the bill was Uttar Pradesh. Look at the state of Uttar Pradesh. It is running propaganda from love jihad to land jihad to anti-Romeo. So when states like Uttar Pradesh, led by Yogi Adityanath, a very fiercely aggressive Hindutva government, support it, but other states do not support it. A question must be asked.
That was in Supreme Court.
Tell us one
Muslim
ally
of
NDA
and it was
that supported this bill wholeheartedly.
This particular,
you know, I'm sorry,
all right, okay. You know, this political debate is not going to go anywhere. All right, we're going to close the show. We're going to close the show, and we're going to possibly close it on only one underlying theme to what happened today. No matter what anyone says, no matter what is the final print where this draft comes into question, and even though lots of questions are being asked of the government, forget about even what the government actually intends to do. Does it actually want to better the lot of the Muslim woman? All of that aside, today, in all that it was a watershed moment when it comes down to social reforms for the Muslim woman, who has been fighting for decades now, and that is where it ends. With that, I thank my panel. Thank you for joining us. It's a day that belongs to only one person, and that is the Muslim woman. The day has been won by her. Thanks our panel for joining us. We're going to go into a quick break. When we return on the other side.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.